The field is set and stacked.
Wow, this is insane.
At the top, the standards always elevated.
We love it. We love the pressure.
It's electric frenzy right now.
As momentum builds, proven contenders rise.
Done.
They're going.
We've truly built momentum. We have been unbreakable.
And claim their home perfect ending.
Wow, are you kidding me?
We didn't come here to play this year. We're just going to go out there and attack it.
When parity reigns, embrace it.
We are not the underdog. We are the team to beat.
It is going to be right down to the wire. After an incredible regular season and a riveting postseason, it all comes down to this. In Fort Worth, Texas at Dickies Arena, the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Team Finals. 4 teams remain. They all know how hard it is to get here, but all of them want more. The LSU Tigers, Florida Gators, Oklahoma Sooners, and the Cinderella, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, will vie for that national title. Hello, everyone. I'm John Roethlisberger, joined by Olympic champion Allie Raisman, Olympic silver medalist, and NCAA champion Sam Pesek. You guys, we got 3 teams in this final that everybody are looking to take the title. But Allie, there's no team that's been hotter at the end of the regular season than the Florida Gators.
That's right. They're coming off of an SEC championship win. They're starting on beam today, ending on bars. They're ranked #1 in the country on both.
But guys, you can't forget about Oklahoma. They're the reigning national champions. They've been the most dominant in recent years, winning the last 7 of 11 NCAA championships. And of course, they had the highest score of all the teams in the semifinals.
And the other favorite, if you will, the LSU Tigers, kind of creating an SEC championship rematch, if you will. Well, we've got stars, and one star that won probably the most unlikely national all-around title in recent history is Faith Torres.
She was incredible yesterday, starting off really strong with a stuff. Yurchenko, 1.5, really getting things going for them. Strong bar routine, good rhythm there, and again, sealing the deal on those landings. And then finishing on floor with her first floor routine of the season.
And of those big 3 that we've been talking about, they each have a star, Allie.
They certainly do. Faith, Sam, as you mentioned, won the all-around, but Kaylin Chio got second to Faith, and then Selena got a 10 at SEC championships.
Well, let's not ignore the 4th team, the Cinderella team, the Golden Gophers. Well, for more on them, we're going to go down to the 4th member of our team, Taylor Davis. Taylor?
Well, John, if you do ignore Minnesota, it just might be when they strike. This team advanced to the first ever championship final, and they've done it the entire way as the underdog. The lowest seed in their regional final and in their semifinal session on Thursday. I spoke with Ariana Ostrom, who told me we've been thought of as the underdog along the way, and we're tapping into that. Don't expect to see us coming, but do expect that we just might get you in the end.
Thanks, Taylor. To win a national championship, you got to be a Lion. In the last decade, nobody's been bigger Lions than the Oklahoma Sooners, but today is a new day. Who's going to come out and be that Lion? Welcome back to Dickies Arena, getting ready for this first rotation. Here is your format for the competition: 6 gymnasts per team per event. Top 5 scores count. Different than the regular season and the regional round is you have 6 judges here. You drop the high score and the low score, and you average the 4 remaining scores for the gymnast final number. We also have something new here in the postseason. Our first ever rules analyst, Mary Jo Rohrig, is with us. 30 years as a judge, 20 years as a collegiate judge. Mary Jo, so happy to have you with us.
I'm so happy to be here. Hopefully I will be able to clarify to the viewers and to the gymnastics community some of the details about collegiate judging.
No doubt about it. So happy you're here. We also have the stream team. So don't forget, you can go to the ESPN app. You can see every athlete, every event. We got Kennedy Baker, Bridget Sloan, Trinity Thomas, and Anastasia Webb. If you're at home, you have a chance to see every routine. You might not see them all on the ABC broadcast, but you have a chance with some of the best in the business, the best broadcasters and the best gymnasts in the world right there. So you have a chance to see them all. Don't miss it there. Here's where every team will start the competition. Oklahoma on vault. They are the #1 team in the country on that event. Minnesota on bars. We have Florida on the balance beam, and the LSU Tigers The #1 team on floor exercise, that's where they'll start. Elizabeth Blessy gets things going here. She didn't compete in the semifinals. Here she is in the finals.
Front pike half. Solid vault, one step back. On the semifinal, they stuck 4 of 6. They want to try and recreate that here.
For Minnesota, Gianna Gertis will lead things off. What a Cinderella story it's been doubted. The minute the postseason started, doubters surrounded the Minnesota Gophers, and all they did was hit routine after routine after routine, and here they are in the finals for the first time.
That's right, John, and they say they thrive under that when people don't expect things from them. Gianna took an entire year off, and she came back for her 5th year. She told me she was really able to focus and hone in on the details. Critical right now. Could be up to 1/10. Hop on that dismount.
Yeah, Minnesota's going to have to hit, obviously. They're going to have to do all the little things great, including sticking those landings if they want to give themselves a chance. They are an underdog, but don't count them out. Skylar Drazer will start for Florida on beam. They like this starting position. It happened at the SEC Championships, and they finished on bars and won it. So tough place to start normally, but they like it.
Starting back handspring layout. Skylar's been in and out of the beam lineup. At the beginning of the year, she actually kept going to head coach Denny Rowland's office saying, what do I need to do to earn this spot? Here she is.
Right hand of your screen, Emily Innes for LSU gets things started there. This is their best event. You'd think, man, maybe they want to save that for the end, but this is a great chance for them to get momentum early, see if it can carry them through the end of the meet.
Emily's season high on floor is a 9.925. Opening up with a front handspring double twist. Nice control out of that landing.
Skylar finishing round off 1.5 to a stuck landing. That's what these teams need to do. I think the team that's gonna win starts each event with a 9-9 score. That's what's gonna help build momentum throughout this meet.
You cannot say enough about starting big, especially on beam with a routine like that.
Emily's gonna do 3 tumbling passes. Most of the athletes here will do 2. So she's taking extra risk and extra pounding on her body. Watch the height of this jump. Strong start for LSU.
So strong starts all around. Gianna Gertis for Minnesota, a 9-8. Moments ago, this is Kira Wells, the NCAA champion on this event, led off in the semifinal and won the event. Here she is.
First, Yurchenko, 1.5. Likes to run upright so that her chest does not fall forward. She wants to be patient, hop forward. We saw her stick that in the semifinal, which helped earn her the national championship title here.
Yeah, they hit an impossible rotation in the semifinals on vault. Even their coaches said, hey, that's not going to happen again. We counted 4.5 sticks, if you will. They were sensational. And I think the important part for them is come in and just control those landings. So far they have. Ariana Ostrom now for Minnesota in the 2 spot.
And Ariana is just a freshman, so doesn't have the experience of being here before, but that handstand right on top of the bar is exactly what judges look for. They want to see that vertical position. They give you within a 10-degree window, but Ariana is passing that with flying colors. Could not have done that routine better.
I didn't see one deduction, Allie.
I didn't either. That's going to be, in my opinion, the highest score of the day so far.
How about that
held
double
her
layout?
handstands, John.
Tremendous job. Hey, the Gopher contingency, they're already asking for a 10. We're only 2 routines in. Why not? Now, Sky Blakely, the sophomore, one of the best gymnasts in collegiate gymnastics, but one of the best gymnasts in the world. She has been a world finalist on balance beam. She's been a world finalist on the uneven bars. Almost made that 2024 Olympic team. Should have made it if it wasn't for an Achilles tear. She was on the doorstep of being an Olympian. All she had to do was stay healthy. It was heartbreak for her. But you know, this championship, a team championship with her Gators, would be huge for her. Nina Ballou for LSU gets things going in the 2 spot for their floor rotation.
And Nina told me that semifinals, she was really nervous. She said her legs were feeling like she was running in mud. And we saw it in this first tumbling pass. She landed a little bit short. Excellent correction today.
Skye's been doing a really smooth beam routine. She actually scored a perfect 10 on beam this year. And get this, guys, Florida on beam is so good that 50% of their lineup has scored a perfect 10 in their career. That's one of the reasons why they feel so confident starting on such a nerve-wracking event. Finishing gainer full off the side. Very good job from Skye Blakely. Florida's 2 for 2 on hit strong beam routines.
I tell you what, I know it's only 2 routines in, but gosh, they look calm and poised.
Well, Nina got a 9.775 in the semis. That score is going to rise today. Big improvement from her.
No doubt about it, Allie. That was much better than the semifinal round, and she knows it. What a performer. Ariana Ostrom for the Gophers, a 9.9 in the 2 spot. Hannah Shively looking for the first 9.9 for the Sooner vault rotation. Wells flirted with it with that 9.8875.
Watch how hard she punches the board. Lou Ball, their vault coach, says,
there you go.
Punch the board, don't get punched. And that's what helped her stick that landing.
I love that. I don't think I've heard that. Punch the board, don't get punched. And I'll tell you what, she laid a haymaker on that vault right there.
Look at her positioning when she hits the vault. Every single muscle, especially her core, is squeezed so she could drive her heels and get the maximum amount of block off that table. Strong block position, flipping, and then of course spotting the ground for a perfect stick. Nicely done. They're hoping that is lightning in a bottle for them with those sticks again here tonight.
Yeah, and you know, it looked perfect in the air. I think if it's not going to be a 10, which I don't think it will be, it's going to come down to how high she went and how far from that table, because she could have gone a little bit bigger. We'll see. There are some 10s coming up.
You know, the funny thing is I asked associate head coach Lou Ball, how can you do that again? And he said, again, you got to catch the lightning in a bottle and ride that momentum, and they're trying to do that with those sticks here.
That's a big number on vault, 9.9625 for Shively. MJ Frazier now follows a 9.9 from Skye Blakely on balance beam.
Another one of those athletes that has scored a perfect 10 on beam in her career. Really strong arm movements. You can see the continuation.
Oh, what a save.
Really good save. Her hips were completely crooked, had to recalibrate her body when she hit the beam. Something that you'll notice about this Florida team, though, is we keep saying how good they are, but you got to watch the diversity in their skills. It's really impressive. Right here, she's going to completely lose sight of the beam and then find it quickly at the end. Finishing strong, 1.5 to a stuck landing. Minor mistake, not a huge. She saved herself from a pretty major mistake there with that wobble. Check out her hip position when she lands this. Her hips are facing sideways and they have to be square over the center of the beam to keep her balanced.
One of the best stories of these national championships is Faith Torres. Taylor's got more.
1 for 1 in the all-around this season, John. In her senior year, she was unable to compete in the all-around, dealing with an ankle injury. She got the green light yesterday and walks away with an NCAA title. She told me all season, she told herself, be patient, it's coming, and it did.
Absolutely, Taylor. Big time. National all-around champion. Can she add more?
Nice. 1.5. Not a perfect stuck landing, but she gets a good block off that table and shows the air time. Look at when her arms hit the table. They are completely square and straight. Block is where vaults are made. You gotta wait and be patient in order to continue to rise up for the landing.
And the amazing part about her journey to that national title is She wasn't going to do the all-around until Addison Fada, one of the best gymnasts in the country, had a hand injury between the regionals and the nationals, and that's how she got in particular, on that vault rotation. So, wow, what a story for her. Lacey Saltzman, the freshman from Minnesota. Taryn Crump right before her, just a 9.7875. Doesn't feel like you can get away with counting that score here tonight.
And Lacey got a 9.9625 in the semi, so she's hoping to replicate that. Looks like she's on the right track. Judges are looking for elbows so straight in between each skill. And of course, a stuck dismount. Could be up to 1/10 for that step on the dismount.
Just took that dismount a little bit too far away from the bar. You could see it in the air that she was really looking for that landing. Just that small step though, nice job. Kayla DiCello now follows a 9.8 from Fraser. That's their low score. Certainly they're going to want to drop that. Very capable with the 3 athletes they have left.
You also might recognize Kayla DiCello from elite gymnastics, and it took her a little bit of time to figure out her routine construction because she has so many skills on this event.
Also a gymnast like Sky that was on the cusp of making that 2024 Olympic team, and she also had an Achilles injury, if you can believe it, that put a stop to that dream as well. So overcome that this year. Here's Amari Drayton, right hand of your screen for LSU.
And if you're watching that first floor pass and you're new to gymnastics and you're wondering how bouncy the floor is, there is a little bit of a bounce, but it's nowhere near close to a trampoline. She just goes that high.
Oh, little bobble with Kayla's series. You got to keep your heel planted, both heels planted when you land on the beam.
If you're Florida or LSU right now, you're #1 ranked in the country on the events they're competing. They want 9.9s, and only 1 out of 6 athletes between those two teams have scored a 9.9. They got to pick it up in the second half of this rotation.
Well, it's so much easier said than done when you have the nerves, the cameras are on you, to emulate what you do in the gym every single day.
Yeah, these athletes, especially like Kayla DiCello, has competed in elite gymnastics, but college is a completely different animal.
Kayla's a world all-around medalist, just to give you an idea of how successful she's been as an elite.
I'm going to guess that's going to be LSU's biggest score on floor so far.
Looking for that first 9.9.
I didn't see any landing deductions from Amari right there.
Faith Torres got a 9.9 for her vault, so back-to-back scores of 9.9 or better for the Oklahoma Sooners. Now one of the best freshmen in the nation, Mackenzie Estep in the 5 spot. Can she keep that 9.9 streak going?
Doing a Yurchenko 1.5. One step forward, and you know, we saw a lot of sticks from them on the semifinal day, but Lou Ball right there in the corner, associate head coach, says, I never tell them to stick. I just say be close and be in a good position. Mackenzie did that.
And he actually told me, he goes, hey, that's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
That is really lightning in a bottle. That was a tremendous vault from Estep. Even opened up, but still took that pretty sizable step forward. Emma Slevin now in the 5 spot from Minnesota, looking for a 9.9 here as well.
And Emma's the first gymnast from Ireland to ever compete here at the NCAAs. You'll notice the extension all the way from her shoulders, her fingers to her toes. Haven't seen too many stuck bar dismounts. That's going to be critical.
Oh man,
almost
and
had it.
She needed some toes on her heels right there to hold on to that one. Just couldn't quite do it.
Over on beam for the Gators, Selena Harris Miranda about to mount. She's closing out her college career here, obviously transferred in last year and has made a splash for the Gators. Jenny Rowland just up on the podium with her said, whatever happens today, I am so proud of you. Go soak up this moment and enjoy it.
I love it.
We've been hearing so much about Selena's mental game as she gears up for a triple series. You're going to watch her do a back handspring, then a layout, then another back handspring, and she never wobbles. It is so impressive. The coaches talk about how strong she is mentally, and we really see that in how she's able to compete every weekend.
And she is #2 in the nation on that event and has scored a 10. And speaking of scoring 10s, right hand of your screen, Kaylin Chio steps to the floor for LSU. She has scored 12 10s through all 4 events this season, including floor exercise.
And both of these athletes, Selena and Kaylin, are some of the best gymnasts in the country. Their consistency is unmatched. Slight wobble from Kaylin on floor. Judges want to see that front foot planted when they lunge. No movement there.
And a stuck landing from Selena on beam. That was an incredible beam routine from Selena Harris Miranda.
And that was a very clutch routine as well. They do have a couple of 9-9s, but they have 2 scores in the 9-8. So for them to finish with a couple big numbers, that's huge for the #1 team in the country on beam.
Yeah, 3 teams are ranked #1 on these events. We can't say that enough because this is the event they want to get ahead on.
Amari Drayton, you said it, Allie, 9.9375. That is indeed their biggest score so far.
And watch her extension as she goes up. Gonna kick open. Excellent.
I will be curious to see how the judges handle that last pass, Allie. She landed and took a controlled lunge backwards. Usually she takes one forwards.
If I had to guess, I would say a half a tenth for that first landing and half a tenth for the second tumbling pass.
Maybe we can get Mary Jo, if possible, to chime in on that last pass. Moments ago, though, on vault, Lily Peterson anchored this vault rotation. After that E-step, 9.8625.
Doing another Yurchenko 1.5. They need a stick.
Oh! Ask and you shall receive.
That's like a parallel parking at full speed and stopping exactly at the curb. No adjustment needed on this landing. Matt, watch how incredibly high she gets off the table, knowing exactly where she is to open up and squeeze her body for a no movement landing.
Lou Ball, right hand of your screen, associate head coach, main vault coach, loved it. And I talked to KJ Kindler about Lily Peterson. I said, she is just a beast, and she is so overlooked, I think, in a lot of ways with other stars in that team, but right there, not overlooked. Oh, Alyssa Arana in the anchor spot in the first big break of this competition.
You know, what's really interesting is they had a lineup change here in the finals. Alyssa tends to go in the second spot, but they were hoping to optimize their scoring potential by putting her in the anchor spot. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. The difference maker is really the mentality. When you go second, you're not going too late after your warm-up. You're still fresh and warm, but when you're in the anchor spot, you have to move around a little bit more, have a completely different routine, and my guess is her routine changed here.
Might have been a little bit different, something she's not totally used to, but keep in mind, Florida hit 5 beam routines before her. Granted, they're gonna have to count that 9-8 even from Frazier and a low 9-8 from Drazier, but this is still a good rotation. This is not catastrophic for the Florida Gators by any means.
But they wanted to come out and be on top after this rotation. Looked straight down the line, and her hips, again, just completely turned to the right side. And once you start moving your arms like that, you're completely off the beam. You got to think of your arms like the steering wheel, so they have to be straight and strong in front of you.
Now to anchor this floor rotation, the #1 floor rotation in the country is Kalia Lincoln. She follows Chio's 9.9. And if you want to see greatness embodied in one piece of gymnastics, just sit back and behold this first pass from Lincoln.
It gets better and better every time. I think that's the best double layout in the world. Watch the height of Kalia's jumps. These leaps and jumps are just as important as the tumbling passes. If you're new here, judges are looking for 180-degree splits and legs squeezed in between each jump.
The most explosive gymnast in the country.
Well, these routines take a lot of endurance, but you would never know by watching Kalia. Makes it look easy.
What goes up must come down unless you're Kalia Lincoln on floor. Gravity optional for that routine. I'm never in the shortage of being awed by that, no matter how many times I've seen it. So that will wrap up the rotations for all of the 4 teams, and the one that stood out is probably that Oklahoma vault. And Taylor Davis is with the head coach, KJ Kindler.
I sure am, John. Thank you very much. Well, Coach, starting on vault and semifinals was advantageous. Your team did it again here today. What is it about that event that really gets the spark going?
You know, people were a little worried, are you going to be able to replicate that? And we certainly were as well, but Lily Peterson, Hannah Shively, both sticking again, and we changed the lineup. Lizzie Blessy leading us off, really proud of her.
A testament to the depth that we always see from Oklahoma. The final meet of this season, a championship final. 3 more to go. What do you want to see from this group to close it out?
Such an honor to be here. I want them to keep killing it. Like, you need to be aggressive. In this meet, you cannot back off. There's so much more gymnastics to do.
Well said. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
She said it. There is so much more gymnastics to do. Nice to have a slight lead for the Oklahoma Sooners, but you know it is a marathon, not a sprint. Kalia Lincoln, 9.9375 for that routine. Lily Peterson, what a big anchor spot for her as well. What a first rotation. We've got 3 of the best teams in the country. And the Gophers, could they still play that Cinderella? More gymnastics to come. Stay tuned after this message and a word from our ABC station. After one rotation is the Oklahoma Sooners on the top after that strong vault performance. LSU, Florida behind them, and Minnesota in that 4th spot. Jenny Rowland, the head of the Florida Gators, 11 seasons, but still looking for that first title. Last year, they did not make the finals after a disappointing performance in the semis. They went back to Gainesville and drew inspiration from one of the greatest Gators ever to wear the blue and orange.
The promise was originally created by Mr. Tim Tebow. He felt like he let down Gator Nation and felt that he needed to apologize and promise.
I promise you one thing, a lot of good will come out of this.
That he will do everything in his power and his might to work the hardest, to be the best teammate.
You have never seen any player in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season.
He had a promise to his team when they didn't do so well, and it kind of resonated and stuck with us throughout this whole year. I sat down and I was like, what can we do to make this team better?
I know that Gators Gymnastics is using the promise as inspiration. I love the end of their promise. We are unbreakable and we won't back down. A win for one is a win for all.
So fired up. We have nothing to lose. We have no regrets. We're gonna go in there, give it our all, and just remember the promise in the back of our head.
One of the most famous post-game speeches in college football history when that 2008 Gators team faced some mid-season adversity. The same could be said for the gymnastics team. Mid-season, 2 back-to-back regular season losses. The team tapped back in to that promise, the standard that they intend to uphold all the way through the championship final. And hey, that 08 football team did go on to win a national championship. The Gators head to the floor, look to make up some ground, currently in 3rd. The LSU Tigers sitting in 2nd. They head to the vault, led by the walking highlight reel herself, Kaylin Chio, who put up a 9.9625 in semifinals. We've seen excellence from her all season on that 1.5. Can she do it again when we come back?
Do you want to flip? Can I do vault and you do floor?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Who's taking us out of break?
I will.
Allie, if you're doing vault.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. Sorry, it's Hannah Shively and Lily Peterson. It's pronounced Shively, right?
Yes, Shively.
Yes.
If you want,
Yes.
Chris gave me a great nugget.
Yes.
That's Lily's vault score, the highest since our own Trinity Thomas got a 10 in 2023.
Wow. And
At Nationals?
Yep, at Nationals. Highest at Nationals since.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm taking another break now. Okay. All the stars are out today to watch some women's gymnastics. Samuel L. Jackson is in the house. Man, very cool to see him up there. Hopefully he is enjoying it today. A lot to enjoy, Allie, especially in that last rotation. Some great highlights from all these teams, in particular Oklahoma on vault.
Phenomenal. For Hannah Shively right here, her elbows are just so straight, helps her catapult off the table. Arms go right out for that stuck position. So impressive. Fire starter for the team. And then Lily Peterson has the highest score at nationals since our very own Trinity Thomas. Watch her elbows, and she just bends her legs at the perfect time to absorb the landing.
And how about LSU on floor? This is their strongest event, their highest scoring event, and it's from athletes like Amari Drayton that are so good and so explosive that they hang on to the landings as well. Check out this combination pass from Kalia Lincoln. She makes it look so easy.
So that first rotation, obviously Oklahoma on the top, and here's what's big about that. They put up a 49.6 on vault. That is a big number. They control the landings. They stuck a couple. The other teams still have to go there. We have seen vault oftentimes be a lower scoring event if teams can't turn those 1/10, keep those steps as a 1/10 deduction. So big advantage, I think, for Oklahoma to get that behind them. Here are their starting events in the next rotation: LSU vault, Oklahoma bars, Minnesota balance beam, and Florida on the floor exercise. And Lexi Zeiss will get things going for the LSU Tigers. Number 2 in the nation they are on this event.
I was talking to Lexi yesterday, and she said, I was so nervous during the semifinals. I was just calming myself down. Yurchenko 1.5, clean, hop forward. She said, they call me the fire starter. Sometimes it's a lot of pressure, and I can understand that.
Good start there. Lily Peterson here to lead off for the Sooners.
Lily is an athlete that I think is often underscored. She's in this leadoff position because of her consistency. The team can rely on her. Arms right by her ears as she catches that transition from high to low. Pirouette right on top of the bar. She's going to end with a double layout dismount. Watch how tight her body is throughout.
Oh, man, and she fought for that landing, and I was about to say she is going to stick that. And looking over at Mary Jo, it looks like a step, and that low shoulders could be a double deduction there, unfortunately, for Lily Peterson. Here's Ariana Ostrom. The Golden Gophers, they got to keep hitting. Maybe get some help from those top teams in the form of some mistakes, but most importantly, control what you can control, and that's this beam routine right now.
Well, Ariana is the 4th Gopher ever to win Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Has had such a big responsibility in just her freshman year, especially leading off beam at the national championship. Looks calm, cool, and collected to me.
Leading off with the Gators on floor exercise, right hand of your screen, Gabby Dizador. The Gators a little over 2/10 behind, remember, the leading team, the Oklahoma Sooners. We have seen them come back from 2/10 in one rotation. They have 3, so they're fine, but gotta hit.
Finishing with a stuck landing. That's how Minnesota wants to start on beam for sure.
Gabby Dizador showing nice control on that landing.
Lexi Zeiss led off for LSU with a 9.8375.
Gabby using these moments right here to breathe and relax and center herself before her tumbling pass. She's going to do a 1.5 front layout. Watch her arms fly out to the side in the layout. Good start for Florida.
They had a great start on the balance beam as well. Got to keep that rolling. This is moments to go on the vault. It's Connor McClain.
She's got a smorgasbord of issues on the right side of her body, according to coach. So this is a gritty vault. Yurchenko full. Rocks it. That is an exclamation point.
That's a smorgasbord of awesomeness, Sam Pesek.
Well, she hits the table so hard, gets so high off the air. You see a little leg separation, but we'll see what the judges saw where they're sitting.
The freshman Ella Murphy in the 2 spot for Oklahoma.
You'll notice Ella's toe point. That really sets her apart. This pirouette right on top of the bar. Judges actually allow for a 20-degree window, but she was very vertical.
Wow.
The one thing with Ella's routine is sometimes she doesn't stick it. She did today.
Absolutely, Allie.
And she's just a freshman. OU's freshmen actually account for 30% of the routines this season, so it's extra impressive.
And watch the shoulder position all the way open, horizontal in the backswing, elbows extended when she catches the bar, and way to stick when it counted. We often say sticks are contagious. Coach Kindler, yes, in the semifinals called it a fire starter. So I'm going to predict we're going to see more stuck dismounts from Oklahoma off bars.
Yeah, and we saw that step from Lily Peterson. I don't want to overstate that deduction, but that was a leadoff routine. She sticks that, and she's at a 9.95 at least in a leadoff spot. Sam, you mentioned how important 9.9s are in the leadoff spot. Maybe let that 10th slip away. That would have maybe set up that rest of the bar rotation. Still some great gymnastics to go, but that was a big moment.
Yeah, that 2/10 lead after the first event, I think, has really given them a breath of fresh air. They can compete free, and that's what head coach KJ Kindler said is the team that's going to win the national championship.
Danny Ferris now in the 2 spot for the Florida Gators. 9.8625 for Dizador.
Danny's going to open up with a full twisting double back. No movement of that front foot. Most of the time, these athletes are competing at the same time as other events, so it's very hard to stay in your own zone and not get distracted if you hear a fall or the crowd cheering really loudly. Danny gonna finish with the same ending that we saw from Gabby. Was smart to dance out of that tumbling pass to give the illusion of more control. Hopefully the judges won't take a deduction for that.
Nicely done from Danny Ferris. You mentioned it, Allie. Other gymnastics going on. You can see every routine. Go to the ESPN app. Some of the best in the business. Kennedy Baker, Bridget Sloan, Trinity Thomas, Anastasia Webb bringing you every routine. So don't be tweeting us later that you didn't get to see your favorite gymnast. You have the chance to do it. All right, balance beam, Minnesota Golden Gophers. Sarah Murrah, the 3rd gymnast following a 9.9. Could this be a little bit of a run for the Gophers?
Yeah, Ava had such a good and solid routine, and something that stands out to me about this Minnesota team on beam is their composure. Watch how secure they are in their landings. They have so much confidence when they plant their feet on the beam.
Back-to-back freshman for Oklahoma. Here's Mackenzie Estep.
And Mackenzie has had an incredible freshman year. Watch the way she catches this release move. She's going to go to the high bar, and she's going to do what's called a blind change. She's going to try to land the pirouette on top of the bar, connected immediately into a dismount. Excellent.
Well, you said it. Sticks are contagious. Curious how many they're going to get from here on out. We saw that happen with this Oklahoma team in the semifinals.
How about that? Back-to-back freshman routines right there. Probably going to be 2 9.9s. And I talked to KJ Kindler yesterday, and she said they've got the #1 recruiting class in the country coming in. I mean, talk about a formidable foe. The rest of the country just got to be pulling their hair out.
Sarah, good routine, slight balance check after her series, but other than that, it was solid. The important thing on balance beam is to stay on the beam, have solid routines, and so you can build those momentum.
Connor McClain, a 9.8875 in the 2 spot for LSU. Victoria Roberts, a 9.875 in the 3 spot. Now in the 3 spot for the Florida Gators on floor exercise, MJ Frazier. They are flirting with the 9-9. The scores are building. That's what you want. But now in the middle of the lineup, if you're a team like Florida, 9-9s are better what you need.
Yeah, John, MJ got a 9.9375 in semis.
Leah Lincoln, left hand of your screen. Big time air on this vault she's about to do.
She stuck it in the semifinal. Watch how high she gets off the table. When she does it well, she waits to twist, and that helps her stick the landing. Oh, man. She has an under rotation. That's an up to 1/10 deduction in addition to the step.
And I will say, Sam, we've seen some very good vaults. That was a very good vault. We've seen some under-rotated vaults that were very nice, but the judges are very happy to take. You said up to 1. They love to take 1. I feel like they'll take 1 and a little tip at the end if they have the opportunity.
Yeah. And now all these teams are chasing Oklahoma, especially looking at what they're scoring on bars right now.
Yeah, E-step, a 9.9375.
I would be surprised if that wasn't a 9-9 from MJ. She had a phenomenal semi day and placed 3rd in the all-around.
MJ, a transfer from Cal after last year. Their coaches moved on from Cal to Clemson, and she moved on from Cal to Florida and been a great addition to that team. Now the NCAA beam champion from 2 days ago. This is Brooklyn Rory.
Starting off, back handspring layout, nicely done. It's been 36 years since Minnesota has won a national championship title, and Brooklyn has broken that drought by becoming the 2026 national beam champion. If you're curious who won that championship title in 1990, it's John Roethlisberger's sister, Marie Roethlisberger. She was the only national championship title in history before this year, and I was told this team looks at her banner every day and draws inspiration from it, and to see what's possible for Minnesota gymnastics in the future.
Well, I'll tell you what, there was a little boy growing up that looked to her for inspiration as well, and that was me.
Well, I know she's looking and watching this team and is very proud because it means so much to this team. They get the opportunity to continue her legacy tonight.
How about that? Man, she could work some bars too. Never mind that right foot, it's pointed, you just can't tell. But she was incredible, man. If we had more time, I'd tell you all about her. Amari Drayton, the 5th gymnast to go, 9.8 for Lincoln. Again, judges took everything they could on that vault. The moral of the story, do not under-rotate your vaults at this championships. You will get hit.
She cannot try too hard to stick this. And she did. 1 step forward, you see that mat sliding. It's kind of like in golf. If you force the swing, you end up messing up your timing.
That's a great analogy. I just put it into the neighboring fairway is what I do, and you're absolutely right. Sky Blakely follows MJ Frazier's getting closer, Allie, to that 9-9. It was a 9.8875.
And watch this tumbling pass, so difficult, and that was perfect. We don't see any other front handspring double fronts in this competition. That's the type of tumbling pass that you see at the Olympic Games. So difficult.
It's a little off balance on that leap connection. We can't stress enough the amount of adrenaline that is running through these athletes' bodies. They're doing such a good job of making it look easy, but what's actually happening on the inside is chaos.
Sam, that's so right. Gymnastics is a unique sport where I don't think it's good to have adrenaline. You just want to feel calm and relaxed. So much easier said than done, though, when you know you're trying to win a national championship. That's going to be a big score from Florida.
Will that get them across the 9-9 barrier? Why is a 9-9 important? The 9-9 average is a 198 score we've set all season long. You got to go 198 to win a national title.
And watch the way she has to land upright in order to connect the jump out of it.
Sky Blakely, such a great athlete, great inspiration, great human being. We'll be hopefully watching her this summer at the U.S. Championships as she makes a return to elite gymnastics again. Did compete at the World Championships last fall and trying to make that 2028 Olympic team. Here's Lauren Pearl, the senior on beam.
I actually trained with Lauren when I was competing. We trained together for many years, so I've known her for a very long time. This is a big test for her. Nice. Actually, about a week ago, Lauren fell. We call it a beam bite. You may be able to see when she turns around, she has a big bruise on her leg. Fell on that exact skill that we just saw. It takes so much mental toughness to get back up on the beam. Our coaches used to tell us to pretend that you're trying to break the beam. Hit it so hard, be so aggressive, just like Lauren's doing. She just has to take it one skill at a time. Unfortunately, dipped her shoulder in her arm. Has to rise her hips for the dismount.
Man, great routine, Allie, and just a little bit, gave away a little bit there at the end. Kayla DiCello follows Sky Blakely's 9.9125. Those two athletes shared the podium at a World Championships in the all-around.
Really big full land to get things started. And see how she just had so much control when she placed that back leg down for the lunge. That is a perfect landing.
Kaylin Chio, left hand of your screen. LSU looking for their first 9-9 on vault in this rotation. If anybody can do it, it's Kaylin Chio.
What separates her from others are the fact that she's able to be consistent on blind landings like this Yurchenko 1.5. It's a rare level of spatial awareness I don't know if I've ever seen before. Let's see if she can do it again.
I mean, you cannot make it up.
She's in her own league.
She could unscramble an egg every single time she goes to ball. You think, well, this time she's not going to stick it. And in the biggest moment of the year, she just does it again.
I've never seen anything like Kaylin Chio in my life. Good form from Kayla DiCello on floor.
You know, what's impressive about Kaylin is actually she was crooked. Look how off to that left side she was on the table, but she just adjusts so quickly and then hit the brakes at full speed. No one can do it like Kaylin Chio.
That's a great catch, Sam. Kaylin's usually more in the middle of the table. When she puts her hands down, she was towards the end. Even more impressive, she stuck it.
And she matches Trinity Thomas from 2023. She gets a 10. All 6 judges agreed on that one. And what a time to do it. They still didn't get a 9 on vault. They just skipped right over and got a 10. And amongst the noise and the chaos, Faith Torres, the senior, the all-around champ at these NCAAs, is going following Caitlin Smith's 9.9.
Oklahoma's that team that's just chipping away.
Oh, and they wanted that stuck landing.
Looked like she let go of the bar too early. She needed to hold on a little bit longer. Could be up to 1/10 deduction for that step.
And that was a great bar rotation, and this is going to sound nitpicky, but when you're the best team of the last decade, you set the standards high. Lily Peterson's step at the beginning and Faith Torres' step at the end. That's a couple of tenths man, as we go through this meet, those are big.
It's interesting. I'm hearing from some of the athletes, the bounce at the high bar, they said feels a little bit different and off. And I think that's why we're seeing not a lot of stuck landings. And the same thing in semifinals. We didn't see a lot of stick dismounts.
Let's go over to floor exercise and Taylor Davis.
Selena Harris-Miranda getting ready to go here on floor for Florida. You all called attention to the adrenaline, the energy. It's interesting to see how these teams are harnessing it differently. Florida has remained very poised, very normal. Selena Harris-Miranda, she was just eating a Snickers bar, if that tells you anything. LSU really feeding off the energy. They have purple shakers down here. They've been dancing the entire time. Different approaches to a high-intensity moment.
Well, I did just see a big deep breath from Selena before she started, so maybe that's her routine.
I spoke to Selena yesterday at practice, and she told me she was more nervous than usual for the semifinals. She reminded me she's actually never competed in this competition in the finals before. She's also a senior, so there's a lot of emotions for her in this moment right here.
Florida cannot catch Oklahoma on this routine. We're still waiting for Faith Torres' score to come in, but they can close the gap. You can see down there 0.2625. Love all the numbers behind the decimal place, but that is how far behind Oklahoma they are right now. LSU just 1/10 back as the Faith Torres score comes in, 9.875.
Selena's gotten 4 9.975s in her career, so she's certainly capable of a big score. Watch the jump out of this.
It's rare to get a perfect 10 at this meet because there's more judges than the regular season, but we just saw it with Kaylin Chio on vault, and if Selena gets a perfect 10 on floor, it'll be her first gym slam. That means she's already gotten a perfect 10 on all the events.
So it's now or never because she's not coming back to floor. This is her final competition. I don't think it's going to be a 10, but if it's higher than a 9.8625, that will increase Florida's team total and close that gap between them and Oklahoma.
I think she'll certainly get that 9.862 score. It's hard to get a 10. You got to get a 10 from 5 judges.
Yeah, it really is, and that's a testament to Kaylin Chio's vault.
Speaking of people and athletes that need one more 10 to get that gym slam is also Kaylin Chio heading to bars. She did break the 10 record in a season with our very own Trinity Thomas. The only athlete that has ever scored more 10s in one season is Kyla Ross. And if Kaylin gets one more, she ties with Kyla Ross at 14.
Not going to come easy today. As much as she made that vault look easy all season long, it's not. We had a conference on balance beam for Lauren Pearl's routine. The judges still having a little conversation. You can see them on the other side of Jordan Lyden, who's about to go having some conversations.
Now it's really important to use that time wisely because you don't want any doubt to creep in mentally before you salute the judges. The goal of balance beam is to mount the beam in a confident way, and that's actually what I heard from this Minnesota team that Maya Hooten, their assistant coach, brings to this beam squad is how confident she makes them feel before they approach the beam.
And Sam, also this arena today feels really cold. It may actually feel extra cold. So it's really hard when you're waiting, standing up there, you're nervous to keep your body warm, but also mentally fresh.
But no issues for Jordan Lyden. She is so icy when I watch her compete. There's no stressful or strenuous movements. Everything looks smooth. And then she lands very calmly, dances into those transitions effortlessly. This could be a really big score for Minnesota if she sticks the landing. And they needed that because Lauren Pearl got a 9.4375. That was basically like a fall in their lineup. So Minnesota's still in this, especially with when Jordan Lyden's score comes in.
Yeah, that felt like a meet-saving routine.
100%.
You know, they're already at a deficit of about 3/10, a little over 3/10 after the last rotation. So you think, hey, we can't just be okay. We've got to be great. And to count a score in the 9.4s would have just been catastrophic. So Leiden in a clutch moment for the Golden Gophers. And what a season it's been. They got a new training facility up there in Minneapolis, and Jenny Hansen just done a great job in her 12th season at the head of that program.
It was interesting. I had a chance to be included in their team meeting yesterday. They flew out their mindset coach, Ryan Romano, here, and in his speech, he said, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you decide that you deserve. So continue to create that dream. And I looked around, and every single athlete on this team was shaking their head. They don't want to just compete here. They want to contend.
Absolutely. Deserve is a dangerous word. Sometimes you just got to go out and get it. Jordan Leiden, a 9.9125, maybe the most clutch routine from any team tonight was right there. Kaylin Chio, she just does Chio things. 13 times she's gotten a perfect 10 in 2026. She passes Trinity Thomas and just trails Kyla Ross by 1. Kyla Ross, man, she was sensational. We've got a fantastic competition here in Fort Worth. We are halfway through. Dee Dee Bros in the crowd. Hold on to your butts, as Samuel L. Jackson would say. We've got a good one. Back at Dickies Arena, halfway through, Oklahoma still holds that lead. It's only 1/10 ahead of LSU. Florida Gators 2.5 tenths behind, and then Minnesota still hanging in there. Head coach KJ Kindler in her 20th season as the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, and what a run it has been, Allie.
They've won 7 out of the last 11 championships, and it's because of their attention to detail. The toe point, every arm and finger has a specific position.
Yeah, people throw the word dynasty around often, but it is very applicable to this Oklahoma program.
You all know the names, the stars, and the stories. Greatness defined by number of trophies held or by consistency over time. The Oklahoma women's gymnastics team has done both. Since 2006, Coach KJ Kindler has led them to 18 championship appearances and 7 national titles.
They are the champions.
Call it what it is, a dynasty.
Year after year, we see Oklahoma freshmen equipped to not just compete a few times, to contribute to the legacy. But that's not something that starts just when they get to Norman. They've been mentally preparing for this for years. In fact, this year's freshman class was in attendance this time last year here in Dickies Arena to watch the Oklahoma Sooners hoist the national championship trophy. I spoke with Mackenzie Eastep, who told me how important it was for that class to have that experience and know they were just a year away from the opportunity to repeat that magic. And here they are a year later, pillars of this program. Coming up next in rotation 3, you're going to see a few of them. Ella Murphy, who is tied for 8th in the nation on beam, along with her teammate Faith Torres, who's 3rd on beam. A couple other top 10 individuals, and Selena Harris Miranda and Connor McLean headed to their various apparatus. There is so much more to come. We're halfway home, but stay tuned after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Okay. Okay, who's taking it out of break? Sam or Allie?
I'm sorry, who's going first?
You want it? It's vault. So do you want to take
it?
Okay.
Oh, it's bars.
Oh, it's bars. Sorry. It's bars. My bad.
Sorry, who was
It's Murphy and Eastep on bars. If they have time, Chio on vault. Probably not, because we never have time for anything.
I'll take one, you take the other one. Okay.
Right, Kara?
I was going to say, aren't we? We're definitely doing. Go for it. Yeah.
Mackenzie Eastep and Ella Murphy.
Okay.
Am I going out of break, or are you?
Man, Lily Peterson's stick and Faye Torres' stick, and they've got a 3/10 lead at least.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm taking it out of break, yes.
Yep, it's bars.
Okay. Sorry, say that again about Taylor. Got it. Okay, cool. Okay. Welcome back to Fort Worth. And Ella Murphy, one of those freshmen that Taylor was talking about that was just here watching a year ago. The toe point is exquisite and sticks. The dismount, look at those knees glued together the entire time. And then her teammate Mackenzie Estep, who was also here a year ago watching in the stands. Now she is vying for that team national championship title. And watch this full twisting double back. Arms go right out to stick the dismount.
And how about Kaylin Chio delivering again when it counts the most? A little bit of crooked doesn't bother her at all. Another perfect 10 for Kaylin Chio. And get this, it's LSU's first perfect 10 ever at NCAA championships. So she's still setting records.
So halfway through this competition, Oklahoma still maintains that lead. They've extended the lead a little bit, but it's not comfortable. Let's just put it that way. A 1/10 lead can evaporate in a blink of a step, literally. So it is a long way to go here. The Florida Gators, interesting. They go to vault in this rotation. As you can see where everybody goes, LSU bars, Oklahoma beam, Minnesota, Florida. This is a big moment for Florida. I don't think, if everything goes to script, I don't think they catch Oklahoma. But they've got to keep that lead about where it is. We saw what happened at the SEC Championship. They closed a 2/10 lead. They can close a 2.5-10 lead if they have to. But if it turns into 3 or 4, they're in big trouble. So, Sam, control the landings, right?
This is the most important event for Florida. I agree, John. Watch the landings. They have got to stick at least 50%. That's my prediction. Starting off with the Yurchenko 1.5. Man, not only was that one step, but that was a step and really a slide forward. That's probably gonna be 2/10 deduction for the uncontrolled landing.
Yeah, Mary Jo, our rules analyst, holding up the 2 fingers there, a 2/10 landing. Do not want that. Lexi Zeiss in the leadoff spot now for LSU. This is where it gets interesting for them as well. You think great on floor, great on vault. Now the test, bars and beam to finish.
And Lexi owns this leadoff spot. She's been leading off since freshman year.
Tends to elevate when the lights come on, and she does it again.
And they needed that. LSU stuck 1 out of 6 bar dismounts in the semifinals.
She is a worker. You gotta love Lexi Zeiss and her fire. Now Addison Feda, one of the best all-arounders in the nation. You think she's gonna contend for an all-around? Hurts her hand between regionals and nationals. This is her only event. She's become a specialist, but man, what an important routine here leading off.
Starting off back handspring layout, and she's got a handspring, so you gotta imagine how much it hurts just to put pressure on the beam from that back handspring. But you can tell just by the way that she's dancing and how aggressive she is that she's locked in here.
Lacey Saltzman from Minnesota leading off right hand of your screen. Sam, we talked about it in the semifinals. To go from an all-arounder to one event is hard enough to get that rhythm in. But also, I got to think, you mentioned the hand, putting it on the beam. It's such a fine-tuned event. One little thing like that could seem like such a huge distraction.
Yeah, that's why you got to lean on heart. You got to lean on grit, and you got to lean on willpower. And Addison Feda does that well. She's consistent, she's steady, and unfortunately she didn't stick that dismount, just didn't quite get the push she needed for a stuck landing there, but no issues or wobbles on the beam.
Well, I was about to say it, like Lily Peterson leading off bars, we're looking at a 9-9 to open, but a huge under rotation and hop, I think, is going to take that opportunity away, unfortunately, for Addison Feda.
Yeah, little things, but these teams are opening the door.
Lexi Zeiss led off with a 9.925 as Lacey Saltzman finishes up on floor for Minnesota. Wow, what a start score for the Tigers. We keep talking about, you know, the Gators, the hottest team in the regular season, maybe the favorites, the #1 team, Oklahoma. LSU just churning through this meet. They're in great position right now.
Well, LSU had their lowest bar score since 2023 in the semifinals. So I think they came back and they're hungry to have the bar rotation that we know that they can do.
Let's look at that beam dismount one more time.
And again, her hand that sprained is pressure on the beam. So I think she didn't push very hard off that hand, and then she didn't push very hard on the leg and couldn't quite get the height she needed for the rotation.
Mary Jo, hold up a 1 or a 2. You think that's a 2? On that Addison Feda beam left. We got a 2 on that one as well. Ashley Cowan, left hand of your screen. Can she build on a 9.925? This could be a big moment for the Tigers.
John, I think she can. She's going to do a double layout dismount. This dismount is very precise. We say sticks are contagious.
She needed a little bit more juice from the semifinal, and she did.
Tiger Nation is feeling it. This is a moment that is happening right now. Addison Feda, they nailed her on that dismount, 9.7375. Florida is opened with 2.9825s. Not bad, but not when you're comparing it to what LSU is doing right now on bars. All right, pressure on. Oklahoma certainly capable of putting up 5 9.9s in a row. If you're my son's soccer team, what you say right now is the next 5. The next 5 is all that matters. They're going to want to erase that 9.7375.
Well, Oklahoma's head coach, KJ Kindler, was really bragging about how good their hit percentage is in the gym. So, no.
And we have got a moment at this championship. A team in the lead, the #1 team in the country with a major break. Now, how do they react? They're going to count that Feda score. Question is, what do they do from here on out? Brooklyn Rory, right hand of your screen from Minnesota. Could this be an opportunity for the Gophers?
Well, Brooklyn starting off with a nice flying high straddle jump.
Kira finishing that handspring layout, series. But John, you mentioned it. The issue here isn't the fall, it's that they're gonna have to count that 9-7 in the lineup, and we haven't finished the rest of the 4 athletes, so there's a lot more pressure on the back half of this lineup now.
A lot of coaches encourage their athletes to not watch the scores, and I'm curious if the rest of the athletes on the OU lineup saw that fall and are really feeling that pressure.
Oh, they saw it. They know what just happened right there. Unless they're living in a igloo somewhere, they've got to feel that intensity.
When I was competing, I would turn around and not watch my teammates.
It's tough though, Allie. In this situation, you hear every moment, and there it is again.
And her back hip was just twisted. She didn't get her back heel down on the beam to save that at all, really landing on one leg there.
So a big moment for the Gators as well. MJ Frazier, tough vault, one of the toughest vaults being done in women's collegiate gymnastics right here, and she's going to have to execute at a high level.
The goal for her is to be patient on the twist. Yurchenko double full. She actually cranked it off the table, but was able to twist so fast, she put it to her feet.
Let's go over to Bars and Taylor.
Maddie Ulrich getting going for LSU. Allie, you mentioned Oklahoma athletes trying not to really lock into that fall. The same could be said about these other teams. LSU need not pay attention to what these other teams are doing. Bars gave them some trouble in semifinals. As much momentum as can be taken, they have to stay locked in.
That's right, Taylor. It's so much easier said than done, John. As you mentioned, even if you're not wanting to watch, you can hear the crowd gasping, and it can be really disorienting and distracting.
Ulrich following 2 9.925s. And that's the biggest break of their whole bar rotation. 3 athletes in is that hop.
Just could be a half a 10th hop right there. Great handstand position, vertical on top of the bar. The judges will like that.
9.05 for Kira Wells. They're going to count the 9.7375 is Oklahoma, as we talked about. Celebrations all around for the LSU Tigers over there on bars, but the focus on Ella Murphy. She was here a year ago to watch the Sooner team win, and now as a freshman, could the fortunes of the team be riding on her beam routine at this very moment?
Well, head coach KJ Kindler said that she could tell Ella Murphy was really nervous at the semifinal day, and they had a lead going into beam, and she said she's a great competitor, so I trust her, and there's a lot of trust in Ella Murphy stepping up right now. Solid back handspring layout. She just needs to stay focused, stay in the moment.
And Sam, I think no matter how many times you practice for this moment, it is impossible to emulate how you're going to feel when you have this pressure situation. But Ella is like a pro, handling the pressure so well.
Had a great season on this event, ranking in the top 10 nationally.
Well, the biggest difference between elite gymnastics and college is that you're competing with your team, so you feel the vibes. And right now, Oklahoma needs a vibe change. Didn't quite be as aggressive, putting her head back on that ring jump. And now she's probably thinking, I gotta get off the beam. This is a really good beam routine, getting Oklahoma back on track. And you can see immediately the vibe has shifted in the corral for Oklahoma gymnastics.
And Sam and John, I could see during that routine, the gymnasts that are going up next, their back is turned to the beam. They're pacing, not watching the beam routine, which I did the same thing when I was competing.
You nailed it, Allie. I would have to probably remove myself as well. Ella Murphy, gotta think, maybe the biggest routine she's ever done in her young career as a junior athlete and a collegiate athlete, comes through big time. 3 more to go for Oklahoma on beam, 3 more to go for Florida on vault. MJ Fraser a 9.875. Again, controlled landings. If they can get a couple sticks, as Sam said, that would be huge right here.
Doing a Yurchenko 1.5. This is a blind landing. Gotta bend your knees. Oh man, just big vaults, but also a big hop in the air, on the ground as well.
Ulrich a 9.8875. Kaylin Chio, the only event she's not gotten a 10 on.
Well, that first handstand was a good start. Kaylin struggled on this dismount in the semi-finals, said she's feeling the bounce of the bar is off. Right here, a big release move. Watch her elbow positions, nice and straight. She has to tap under the bar and hold on a little bit longer. No issues today, wow. Oh, will they give her the stick? They could take off half a tenth because
that's
it's like her
interesting.
heels were gripping the mat.
That's interesting. She held it for the required amount of time, but she moved a little bit. Mary Jo, what are your thoughts?
I think maybe an 0.5 on that additional trunk movement in her upper body.
The old trunk movement comes back to haunt us again. Can't move that upper body. A little out of control is the message I'm getting, and that might cost her a little bit on what was otherwise a great routine. Now Lily Peterson fouls a 9.9375 from the freshman Murphy. The pressure has not waned, though. They've got to hit 3 big ones to finish.
Opens back handspring layout, and you know the interesting thing is when I was chatting with associate head coach Lou Ball yesterday, he said Lily Peterson is the athlete that could really show some improvements. There were some areas in the semifinals, and she has had herself a day so far. Could this be 3 for 3 for her in terms of fullest potential? Good job absorbing the beam. You want to land slightly with bent knees so that it helps you stay balanced. Finishing double full, and she hangs on to that stick. And you can see the Oklahoma athletes going crazy right now. They feel how critical each of these beam routines are to the lineup.
Man, you can see Lily's face too as she was holding on to that stick. It was as serious as you can be until she turned to the judges, and then the exuberance came.
Kaylin and her face almost matched each other in terms of their intensity.
2 more to go for OU. Florida's vault, that's the event that has haunted them a little bit this season. They're gonna have to go big here with Danny Ferris and 2 vaulters to go.
She's steady. Oh,
and that is what you don't want to do.
That is really not great. Of course, you have that under rotation, which is up to 1/10, and then the step in addition to that under rotation deduction.
We've seen vaults like that throughout this championship, and most of the time those vaults end up being in the 9.7s. We'll see what the judges do. Still 4 scores in the 9/8. They could finish with a big one. Selena Harris-Miranda can stick big. Here we are on bars with Courtney Blackson now in the 5 spot.
Courtney was not in the competition in the semifinals. Coach Clark, Jay Clark, told me he was going to decide after the warm-up who was going to go in. Great shoot over right in that handstand position. Now this right here, the same release move we just saw from Kaylin Chio. Watch the height that she gets.
Beautiful.
Catches it with elbows extended.
I think that's the best one I've seen her do.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Sam.
So close. That was one of the best routines I've seen her do, just that 1/2 hop.
And that will end Courtney Blackson's career as a gymnast. And it was an unlikely finish. Jay Clark found her on a trip to Idaho, said she had a year left of eligibility, brought her in, and that moment, it paid off.
And she actually took an entire year off of gymnastics. So for her to be back here contributing like this for LSU at the national championships is remarkable.
Lily Peterson, a 9.95. Let's go to Taylor.
Elle Miller getting started here on beam, and she told me this week when she was being recruited, when she thought of Oklahoma gymnastics, she thought of beam. She told me she realizes she is living out her dream most when competing on beam for the Sooners. Huge opportunity for her with some difficulties early in this lineup.
Well, is it going to be a dream or is it going to be a nightmare? Because she's got to hit. Ariana Ostrom from Minnesota, right hand of your screen. 9-9. For Gonczarowski right before her. Need more of that.
Now, I saw a wobble from Elle Miller after that full turn, and you know, it's not good to have a wobble, but sometimes I can almost see it clicked in her brain. Okay, I gotta be aggressive on the rest of my skills, and no issues on her series.
Ariana opening up with a beautiful double back.
So much pressure on Elle right now. You can see her squeezing on every landing. You can't let any doubt get in. This is such a mental event. Gotta stick the landing. And she does.
And Ariana doing that back layout step out reminds me of the 92 Olympic era of gymnastics. It's so breathtaking to watch. Well, Ariana, that's going to be a big score. I'm going to guess that's the biggest score of the day for Minnesota on floor.
Nicely done there for Minnesota. Over to vault now. Selena Harris-Miranda. We saw LSU go through their vault rotation with no scores in the 9/9s, and then Kaylin Chio came up. Well, Selena Harris-Miranda, she can stick about the 2nd best vault in the country after Chio needs to do it right here.
Yurchenko 1.5, incredible air awareness, close.
Very
close, and that could be a 9-9 score around that range, but I still don't know if that's enough, even though they are going to their best event next.
Connor McLean now for LSU in the anchor spot. Few in the world can swing bars like Connor McLean. She's going to have to show it right here. Finish with a big-time exclamation point. They already have 4 9/9s.
If you look closely, her right arm is taped. And right here, that's a big test for her. She fell at the regional final on that big release move on the high bar. Wasn't able to finish the competition. It's incredible. Wow. She's able to be here right now competing. Gorgeous.
She saved the day for LSU during the semifinals. And she's basically got one working arm, and she's doing it again here tonight in the finals. So impressive.
Courtney Blackson in her final routine as a gymnast, 9.9125. What a job for her. Now, Elle Miller, a 9.8625. Still a good score, but when you're counting a 9, scoring the 9.7s, you don't want to count a 9.8. You're hoping for all 9.9s. Faith Torres, certainly capable of that. She scored a perfect 10 here. She's about as good as anyone on this event.
But there is so much pressure riding on this beam routine. But what we know about Faith is that she's a really loose and light competitor. So if there's someone you want going in this anchor spot, it's Faith Torres. She was one of 7 athletes to be named as an AAI award finalist, basically the Heisman in gymnastics. Been so productive for this Oklahoma team throughout her time here. And guess what, guys? She wants another national championship to finish her career on. Let's see if she can get the landing.
Ice in her veins. You said light and loose, Sam. I beg to differ. A lion, vicious. Faith Torres will not be denied. Jordan Lydon finishing off a good floor rotation for Minnesota. A pair of 9-9s. Can she add a third?
Jordan tied for 4th on floor at these national championships. She's gonna end with a round off 2.5. Watch her elbows in knee position as she finishes the round off. Will help give her extra speed into the 2.5.
Get this, guys. Jordan Lydon with a 9-9 right here will move Minnesota into 3rd ahead of the Gators.
I think she's gonna get a 9-9 or higher. I didn't see any visible landing deductions in that routine. We'll see what the judges thought about the jumps and the leaps.
I'm just looking at the LSU-Oklahoma score. Did you notice that it's less than 1/10 of a difference? Heading into the last event, we knew it was gonna be close.
We have a new leader. It's the LSU Tigers, and Taylor is with their head coach, Jay Clark.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, John. Coach, you guys take the lead for the first time after that rotation on bars. The event that gave your team some trouble in semifinals, what made the difference there?
I think changing the rotation up helped us a lot, just get moving and get some momentum. Chio doing what she did on vault was huge to help us recapture it. Kind of felt like it might slip away there a little bit. And then they just lit it up. So, I mean, this is the team that we know we have. So, but we haven't done anything yet. We got to finish.
Well, speaking of that, you are going to finish on beam, which is also what happened in 2024, the last time you guys won the title. What will it take?
That, didn't you? Yeah, it's that. No, this is a different team, different set of circumstances. We're going to go over there and attack this beam the best we can. We know we're not out of the woods on anything yet. This is a great meet. Amazing teams out here. Anything can happen. Look at this fool.
They're feeling good, clearly. Thanks for the time.
Thanks.
We'll get the cup out. Jay Clark will start chewing on his cup any moment. That's what he does during beam rotations. Jordan Lydon, 9.9125. Minnesota's in 3rd. Faith Torres with that big 9.95 to finish there to match Connor McLean's 9.95. The Tigers are in the lead. Oklahoma drops to 2nd. Are you not entertained? We told you this is what we would give you, and we have. Final rotation coming up. Back at Dickies Arena, John Roethlisberger, Allie Raisman, Sam Peshek, Taylor Davis, and we are through 3, and we have got everything that we have bargained for. LSU on top, Oklahoma, Minnesota in the 3rd spot, and the Florida Gators with some work to do. I'll tell you what, we have had some drama, we have had some ups and downs, but this is everything we hope for, Allie.
This is incredible. I got to give a shout out to Oklahoma. I'm really impressed with the way that they came back. Mistakes are going to happen with the nerves and the pressure, but for Ella Murphy, a freshman, to come back and handle the pressure like that is phenomenal.
But it's LSU for me because they came back and now they're in the lead by 1/10. It is so close here. They have beam to finish and 50% of their lineups are new this year. So like head coach Jay Clark said, the job's not done.
Well, let's look back at that event that put LSU in the lead, that uneven bar rotation.
Well, for LSU, way to peak at the right time with Kaylin. Lexi Zeiss starting off with that amazing momentum. And then this gorgeous double layout dismount just sticks it cold.
Courtney Blackson coming in clutch for the first time in her NCAA championship appearance. Only event she does. Best release move I've seen her do all season long. And then you got to give all the credit to Connor McLean here, sticking the dismount. She's working with one arm, and man, they're feeling good headed to that last rotation.
The sun never sets on what's the phrase that they use? Well, LSU They are feeling it. We got a familiar scene, it feels like, Taylor Davis, don't you think?
John, sometimes in sports, things go full circle, and this certainly feels like that. You go back to the very beginning of this season in January at the Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad that featured both Oklahoma and LSU. Well, that one ended in a tie with Oklahoma on floor and LSU, you guessed it, on the balance beam. History may be repeating itself here. Goes to show how incredible this competition has been to have an ending like this. You won't want to miss the last rotation. We'll be back after these messages from your local ABC stations.
This generation moves different. These athletes don't hope to win. They demand to.
To copyright Herb Brooks, from great moments are born great opportunity, and that is what we have here tonight. The LSU Tigers have wrestled away the lead from the Oklahoma Sooners in that third rotation on the strength of their bar performance and taking advantage of some miscues by the Sooners. The Florida Gators, they have got some work to do, but the Minnesota Gophers have moved into that third spot. Again, the stream team, Bridget Sloan, Trinity Thomas, Kennedy Baker, Anastasia Webb. Don't forget, you can see every routine on the stream with some great analysis. Just get to that ESPN app, sit back and enjoy, put it on your computer, and watch us on TV. What more could you ask for? Minnesota goes to vault. Talked about those landings, got to stick them there. Florida bars, best in the nation. We've seen them go lights out. They've got to go lights out. LSU on beam. Don't wobble, stay on, and the championship might be theirs if they can hold off the Oklahoma Sooners, who moved to the floor exercise where they're ranked 4th in the nation.
We saw LSU heading to beam, and they looked loose, but you can't count your chickens before they hatch.
I've heard that.
Stay locked in when they're saluting. Don't want it to celebrate too early.
You know, don't pretend you're loose. You're going to beam. What do I say about beam? Meet doesn't start
until you get to beam.
Ava Stewart for the Golden Gophers. A third-place finish for them would be amazing. If to do it, they're just holding off the Gators. They're going to have to be season high for sure here if they want to do that.
Starting off 1.5. Just that one step on the landing. Her chest was vertical when her feet hit the ground, though, so still should be a good number.
Here we go to the uneven bars. We saw them put on an absolute clinic at the SEC Championships. Did the Florida Gators. They're going to have to do that again. They might need help from LSU and Oklahoma. Again, you can see the right hand of your screen, 5/10 back of the leader.
MJ has gone 8 scores of 9-9 or better this season. She's looking to do that right here.
Wow.
Make that 9.
If they want a chance, they got to do routines like that. MJ doing her job.
They got to let it fly. Kylie Cohen to lead off for LSU. LSU and Oklahoma on their respective events this rotation almost have an identical scoring average for the season, and it's virtually tied. This is literally anybody's meat to win between these two.
Yeah, I think out of this entire rotation, this routine right here is the most critical. Back handspring layout. She actually was off on that back handspring, but pushed really hard from her toes to adjust and have no wobbles at the end.
And I saw Kylie, before she got up on the beam, blow a kiss to her teammates, and hopefully she's just listening to her teammates' words of encouragement, which can help bring her some calm in this intense moment.
The teams in first and second going simultaneously here at Dickies Arena. Ella Murphy, the freshman, right hand of her screen. She was clutch on bars. Got to be clutch here too.
Kylie stuck the dismount. Couldn't do that beam routine any better. LSU wants this natty.
I will add Ella Murphy clinch on beam and bars, as a matter of fact, for the Sooners.
Ella Murphy was one of the freshmen here last year in the stands, and I'm sure she's daydreamed about this final rotation ever since then. Ella used to do ballet when she was younger, and you can really see that when she's on releve, on her tippy toes. Every moment is accounted for.
If you've noticed, OU has a different leadoff athlete on every event to share the immense responsibility. But we saw Ella Murphy handle that pressure on beam, and she did it again here on floor.
.075. That's the difference between LSU and Oklahoma for that top spot. Florida, again, over half a point back, but they just started with a 9.9125. Can they put some pressure on the leaders? If you're gonna feel pressure, you're gonna feel it, I would think, on the balance beam. I've never competed it, closed circuit to you guys, but it seems like one of those events, you let pressure creep in, you can get in trouble, as we see Lexi Zeiss getting ready.
Yeah, I talked to her yesterday and I said, what do you think about when you compete? And she started laughing and she said, you know, I think about, I gotta be a little bit nasty. And I was like, what does that mean? And she said, our team actually says that on a beam and it works for me. And it means you gotta have a little bit of edge with your gymnastics. And I call that angry beam. We all have a different name for it, but it's basically being aggressive, no hesitation, and that's the mentality and the approach that you have to have in situations like this.
So you're saying it's Lexi, but Miss Zeiss if you're nasty.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, you gotta have that respect, and she's gotta be locked in and doing a good job here, keeping her composure and moving around while the judges are getting set for her.
Yeah, we got a conference over here on the balance beam. The scores have just been raised, so it should be coming in. Looks like she's ready to go. Such a tough spot to be. You can put a smile on your face, Allie, but I've been in that spot. You guys have been in that spot. It is so hard to keep those butterflies down in big moments like this.
It really is. And when I was competing, I would just focus on hearing my coach and my teammates' words so I could pretend somehow that I was just in practice.
Ella Murphy, a 9.875 to lead off for Oklahoma. Lily Peterson now the second gymnast to go.
Lily has such good extension on that front double twist.
We've been talking about how impactful the OU freshmen have been, but guess what? The underclassmen, including those sophomores, have combined for 73% of the routines this season. Really relying on the youth for this Oklahoma team.
As Lily Peterson's going here on the floor, I just got to say, I looked over at beam, and Lexi Zeiss is still waiting to go. It's like the judges are just torturing her through this weight. Can she keep it composed? This is a big moment for the Tigers. They get through this one. Who knows?
Yeah, it's strategic too. These coaches not only chose where to start, but in deciding what event you start on, you also had to consider which event you were ending on. OU head coach KJ Kindler said they wanted to finish on floor and release that energy. Similar with LSU, they said they wanted to finish on beam because they could be aggressive, and it's a strong event for them here. Oh no.
Man, and you just wonder, was the weight, did it get to her? Did it throw her off that routine before the routine, Sam? And that just opened the door, potentially. Now again, they can drop this score, but man, the pressure on these last four gymnasts.
And it just makes me think about the last time they won an NCAA championship. They had a fall at the beginning of their lineup. Savannah Shaner, we've all seen the video and the heartbreak of that fall and how the rest of the lineup and the team came back from that. So it's not over yet. Although this is the hard way of getting a national championship title.
And Kylie Cohen led off with a 9.9125. They have an advantage over Oklahoma's starting score. So again, Lexi Zeiss falling, not a good thing, but you look down the roster on the right hand of your screen. If the next three gymnasts can hit, it could come down to the best gymnast in the country this year, Kaylin Chio. Oh my heavens.
She stuck it, so the important thing now is that she continues to keep that positive energy with the team. You can't burst that bubble because the vibes still have to be high for the rest of the lineup.
Anya Pilgrim in the 2 spot for the Gators, a 9.9. This was moments to go from Sky Blakely. We said, watch out for the Gators if they finish on bars, and they are putting together another rotation here.
Sky Blakely is superb on this event. She is taller upside down because she is so stretched all the way from her fingers. The extension. And watch this, the flexibility it requires. Most difficult dismount in the entire competition. And just that slight movement of the foot, 1/2 tenth on that dismount, but didn't see any other visible deductions throughout the routine. Well done.
She is so much fun to watch on that event. Just exquisite bar worker, a finalist again at the World Championships last fall. Kira Wells. How about Lily Peterson putting up a 9.9375? 4 to go for the Sooners. A national championship on the line.
I would imagine one of the most difficult things for Oklahoma right now is to not let the adrenaline and the excitement of the moment get the best of them. You could see when Kira landed, her eyes were so intense looking forward. It can be easy when you're excited to overshoot it and go out of bounds. But Oklahoma's doing a great job with their landing so far.
Yeah, good reminder for all teams right now.
Yeah, Minnesota at the top right of your score tower. They are going through vault. Not going to put up the numbers to hold off Florida's bars. Probably going to end up in that 4th spot, but what a tremendous performance for them nonetheless at this championship.
Nice clean front layout. I can see how intentional Kira is when she's stepping and lunging. She is showing those judges, do not take anything off. I'm not moving my feet.
Three down for Oklahoma, 3 to go. But this is where the drama really is going to unfold. Lexi Zeiss, a 9.2375. I'll tell you right now, you count that score, it's over for the Tigers. Mari Drayton, Kalia Lincoln, Connor McLean, Kaylin Chio. The fortunes of Tiger Nation are going to ride on those 4 routines, starting with Drayton right here.
I really loved watching her confidence increase throughout the year. You could see her front foot was completely off the right side of the beam, and she just continues to move through your routine. That's a good sign. That means she's being aggressive.
Sam, I think the hardest part is under the nerves when you're so stressed is to remember your cues. Coach Jay Clark tells her to push down on the beam. Looks like she's doing that right now.
She's new to the beam lineup this year. If she can get this stick, they are back on track.
Oh, that was still huge.
Huge with that heel. Shouldn't be a huge deduction, but they can't give anything away now.
You're right, Sam, and you pointed to her confidence. I asked Amari this year, where have you grown the most? She said, it's my confidence on beam. She told me she didn't know if she would ever compete beam collegiately. Huge moment for her to show up on that very event.
So one big hurdle overcome for LSU. That is a hit. Meanwhile, Kira Wells, a 9.9. I'll tell you what, if Oklahoma goes the rest of the way with all 9 9s or better, it is going to make it real tough. Put a lot of pressure on that LSU lineup. Elle Miller now in the 4 spot. Sky Blakely a 9.95. So the Florida Gators not going away. They're doing everything they can.
Well, get this, John. Elle has never missed a routine in her entire collegiate career. So you could not ask for a more consistent gymnast.
And she got above a 9.9 just in the semifinals.
If you've been watching Elle all year, she sticks her vaults a lot, and I see that same spatial awareness on floor. That tumbling pass was so good because the second flip rose higher than the first.
making it look easy, but a floor routine is basically equivalent to a 90-second sprint with flipping in the middle of it. It is so challenging.
Sam, I was just thinking that their routines are so impressive that I'm forgetting how hard it is and how many years of hard work has gone into those moments.
Amari Drayton, a 9.875, a good score. Just gave away a little bit on that landing, Sam. She fought for it as we see Kalia Lincoln in the 4th spot for the Tigers.
Yeah, this is a really important moment. We talked about 50% of their lineup is new this year, and Kalia is another one of those athletes that's new. She's been having a really good postseason, but she's got to put up one more strong number.
The final routine of Selena Harris Miranda's collegiate career. Transferred from UCLA, the circumstances weren't great, but came to Florida, got a second chance, and Jenny Rowland can't talk enough about how important she has been to that team this year and the leadership that she has brought. This is her last performance.
Selena Harris is the queen of the handstand positions. Nobody does it better than her, just like that. She got a 10 at SEC Championships. Give her a 10.
He made it look so easy to finish your career like that, whether they win this national championship title or not. So much to be proud of, but look at those numbers. They could creep back up here.
Oh, and a step back on that landing from Lincoln. Left hand.
In the regular season or normal meets, those steps aren't really a big deal, but right here in the national championship, it is.
It is a huge deal. Just to touch on Florida, they're going to need some help. The way Oklahoma's going, not looking like they're going to catch them unless they have 2 major breaks at the end. LSU, they have a major break on the board. If they have another one, Florida could leapfrog them for that 2nd spot. But still, right now, the battle for first between LSU and Oklahoma. Mackenzie Estep following a 9.9375 from Miller. Man, if she hits this, this might be it.
That might have been the highest front layout front double twist I've ever seen Mackenzie do.
I just had a flashback. Remember, Mackenzie Estep was sitting in the stands watching this year because she's only a freshman this year.
And she was the final routine at the SEC Championships for Oklahoma, trying to catch that Florida bar rotation, which they did not do. Florida got that title. She's in the 5th spot here.
In this last tumbling pass, she's going to do a 2.5 twist and step out of it, dance out of it. Has to keep her chest vertical when she lands. Nice.
Right now, dropping the low score for LSU and Oklahoma through 4 athletes. It's Oklahoma by .075.
Well, John, it looks like Oklahoma's on the way to dropping a 9.875.
So many people wondered if they could do it again, and man, they're looking consistent.
Connor McLean now. Her body has been the biggest challenge right now as she mounts the beam. Her body is held together by athletic tape and sheer will. She was the hero in the semifinals. A lot of talk about Kaylin Chio and how important she is, and she is, but nobody mattered more in that semifinal on beam and bars than Connor McLean.
She also was one of the biggest proponents for this rotation order, wanting to end on beam.
Riley McCusker, right hand of your screen again, finishing her collegiate career, and what a story it's been to see her in this anchor spot for Florida. It has been a journey, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of challenges, but she has earned it and built the confidence to be in this exact position.
And Riley's the 2026 National Bar Champion because of these breathtaking moments. Just unfortunately had a low squat on that dismount, but beautiful finish for Riley, an amazing career.
And that wraps a career for Riley McCusker. What a journey, what a great athlete.
Connor is really doing what she does best on this event, showing full extension, textbook-looking skills, sticks the dismount. She finishes her meet. Her arm is still attached, which is great news, and that's going to be a huge score for LSU.
And in 2020, score. Connor McLean went after Savannah Shea here with that fall, so she really knows how to handle that pressure.
Faith Torres, the next gymnast to go for Oklahoma with a national championship on the line. This Flora team, unlikely. Came to her coach, Tom Haley, after the conference meet and said, I want to do floor. Her career, it's been a long and storied one of excellence, and she needs to be excellent right now.
Didn't even do a full floor routine until last week. Look at those tumbling passes, huge double layout.
Connor McLean, by the way, on beam needs a 9.8625 to keep LSU alive.
I think she's got that.
Oh. Just a small rebound out of that double tuck, but that to me was the only obvious deduction I saw. Could be up to 110.
Yeah, minor mistake, but in moments like this, that's expensive.
So impressive though to come back after, this is only her second meet doing all around all year. Phenomenal.
Her parents are in the stands. Roy and Carrie, they said when they walked out on the floor in the semifinals, they had tears in their eyes before she even started her routine. I talked to them this morning, and they said, Mom, Carrie, couldn't even put makeup on. She tried 3 times, and the tears kept getting in the way. It's been a big family journey for the Torres family. Amazing. But now, Kaylin Chio, the best in the business, the #1 gymnast in the country on this event. She has scored below a 9.925 only 3 times all season on this event. But when you're the best, when everybody is looking at you in the biggest moment, the pressure is different. And it's different right now. She's got to be perfect.
She's locked in, that handspring layout, and she told me that, I hate to admit it, but I'm a score watcher, so you know that she knows what's on the line right now.
9.95 for Connor McLean right before her. She has set her up for potentially a perfect number, which she's gotten 5 times this season on this event.
Good job moving her arms, and you could just see how quiet her upper body is. There is no movement, really showing that the judges that she has the ultimate control on this beam routine. It's the technique that's helped her score a perfect 10 so many times before. She's got to do one more here.
Looks like she's right on track for that.
She was a 9-time All-American her freshman year. Could she be a national champion? Today, that hop, scooch, is probably half-tenth deduction at the end. That's really the only thing I saw in this entire beam routine. Curious if it's gonna be enough. We haven't seen Faith Torres' score. That was a phenomenal routine as well.
We saw a scene at the SEC Championships. It was Oklahoma and Florida that stood and waited for that final score to come in. It was Mackenzie Estep's floor routine. It wasn't enough for the Sooners to get the title. Then Florida got it. Here we are in the split screen. Faith Torres, a 9.95. LSU clinches a share of it with a 9.9875. Sam, you called the beam. The scooch, is it the difference? Is that score possible in your opinion?
Man, I don't think that Kaylin Chio is gonna get that score.
And you know what? We talked to Kaylin Chio this season about taking steps on landing. And if she takes a step or doesn't stick it perfectly to her, that's like a miss. We will see. The score is coming in. It's a 9.9 for Kaylin Chio, and that means the Oklahoma Sooners are going to get their 8th NCAA championship. They don't know it yet in the arena. They do now. Sooners go again, back to back.
You know, they started with a fall on balance beam in the third rotation early on and bounced back. They had so much grit. They didn't lose belief in the fact that they could still make this title happen. And look at those floor scores. They did. It was a team effort. They had sickness. They battled injuries. It was a complete team performance. Head coach KJ Kindler told me she has never faced this much adversity in a championship. And look at them now.
Addison Fada right in the middle of your screen, hugging Faith Torres, tears in their eyes. She didn't get to do all around, but her team helped her get the job done. And you cannot say enough about Faith Torres. Did floor twice this season, put up 2 9.95s, and I think that was a difference maker for the Sooners. That floor routine is a difference maker, and for Faith Torres and her family, since 7th grade, took a 3-hour round trip commute to go to her gym and back. Her dad quit his job so Faith Torres could practice elite level gymnastics, over 6,000 hours in the car for 7 years, and the journey ends here today with that 9.95 and one more national title.
She was absolutely, without a doubt, one of the MVPs, if not the MVP for Oklahoma during this championship. She leaned on her experience and helped her team to another national title.
The LSU Tigers, man, what a performance. This sounds strange, but I looked at them as underdogs to Florida and Oklahoma coming into this, even though they're their second-ranked team. Their season has been up and down. This isn't up. They came in and they gave it everything they had. Hats off to the Tigers, but man, the champs showed why they are the champs. Anastasia Webb said this earlier in the broadcast. Oklahoma's system is one that makes excellence inevitable. And this one feels like it was inevitable for the Oklahoma Sooners. They get number 8. Wow. We'll be right back. National champions, 4th NCAA title in the last 5 seasons, 8th overall for the Oklahoma Sooners. That puts them in sole possession of 3rd most in NCAA women's gymnastics. Well, Taylor Davis is with what I'm just going to call it, the hero of these national championships, Faith Torres.
I would echo that, John. Thank you very much. Faith, we haven't seen you compete floor this season until postseason. You put up a 9.95 in the final routine of the national championship to clinch the title. What was going through your mind in that moment?
To go out there and do my best and leave it all on the floor. That was really all I could ask for myself.
How are you able to do that when you hadn't been competing floor this year?
Me and Tom talk like it's muscle memory. Like, I love floor. You can't fall off the floor, so you gotta go aggressive and just good air awareness, yeah.
You did just that. This team came into the postseason as the #1 overall seed, but at times this year, you guys felt like you were underestimated a little bit. How did that play into your postseason dominance?
Yeah, we really focused on ourselves throughout the season. We had a lot of adversity this week, you know, with Fada and even Kelsey, and a lot of people had to step up. And so this young team, I'm so proud of them. They were really hungry, and it really paid off. So I'm really happy for them.
You win the all-around title and another team national championship to close out your college career. What does that mean to you?
It means everything. I'm so proud of this team, and to do it with them, I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Go celebrate with your teammates. Congrats, Faith.
Thank you.
Oklahoma gets it done again. Let's take a look at the Capital One Cup standings as teams compete for a combined $500,000 in student-athlete scholarships from Capital One. Indiana, the Hoosiers, they're at the top. How about that? Guys, quick comments to close. Sam, your thoughts?
Yeah, associate head coach Lou Ball told me yesterday that you got to catch lightning in a bottle and ride that momentum. This Oklahoma team got the job done. Very proud.
That's right, Sam. They now have won 8 out of the last 12 national championships. They have got the total package. What a flawless performance.
The dynasty continues. When you're going up against the champs, they just do not give you any room. You got to match their perfection, and no one could do that tonight. For Taylor Davis and Sam Peshek, Allie Raisman, and Mary Jo Rorick, and our entire production team, the best in the business. You guys are sensational. You make us look good every time. I am John Roethlisberger. So long from Fort Worth and the National Championships. Coming up next, it's ABC World News Tonight or your local news over most of these ABC stations. Congratulations to the Sooners. They get number 8. Good night from Fort Worth.